Hello, and welcome to IB Philosophy Booth. I'm Jo, a fully qualified teacher, tutor, and all round philosophy lover. This video is going to give you two options for how you could structure your Paper 1A essay. I have made the outlines, the essay outlines, available as a download, so just click underneath. You don't need to put your email in or anything, so click it, download it, enjoy it. Also, underneath there's information if you want to have me as a tutor. So go ahead and check it out. Okay, so just going to have a quick look at the Paper 1A assessment criteria. So obviously, the structure of your essay alone is not going to be enough to put you in this top band, but if you have a good structure, it can help set you up for success by giving you a place for the kind of essential ingredients that you need. So the structures I've designed are going to help show you've got a place in your essay to do this, to identify a philosophical issue and to make references to it throughout the response. Make sure there's a place for different points of view, and make sure that to help set you up so that you've got a reasoned and clearly stated conclusion that's consistent with your arguments. All right, so because you need to have different points of view, I strongly recommend you set up your papers as a kind of debate between two philosophers, philosopher A and philosopher B. So this first approach that I'm going to show you is what I call a take a side essay. So you're going to take a side with one of the philosophers that you've got. So you're going to argue that philosopher B is better than philosopher A. So how you should outline, or how you could outline your essay here would be in your introduction, you're going to identify a philosophical issue, which I strongly recommend that you phrase as a question because that's going to help you have something to focus towards to give you a nice, clear argument working to a conclusion, and explain how the issue question that you have identified relates to the stimulus. That's a bit tricky, and I'm going to make a whole video about how to do that. And then I really strongly recommend that you state your answer, what you think the answer to the question is, in the introduction. It's not necessary to do that, but if you go back here, the response argues to a reasoned and clearly stated conclusion consistent with the arguments presented. If you state your argument, your conclusion at the start, then if you know, it gives you an idea of where you're going, it gives the examiner an idea of where you're going, and it's just going to really help set you up to make sure that you argue to a conclusion consistent with your arguments. Okay, then what you're going to do in your body paragraph 1 is you are going to explain what philosopher A's answer to your issue question is. Okay, so what's philosopher A's answer to the philosophical issue that you identified from your stimulus? To help try and keep this analytical, really focus on what are the key premises of that philosopher's arguments that answer the question. So the key premises, how do they build to give you an answer to your philosophical issue? Okay, then what you want is a critique of philosopher A. So that's helping to bring in different perspectives. This could be your own critique, which would be fantastic because it's going to show more critical thinking. Or it could be a different philosopher's critique, or it could be even philosopher B's critique. Okay, and then optional, you can add a second critique. All right, the next main body paragraph, you are going to explain what philosopher B's answer to the question is. Again, trying to keep it analytical. And then in your conclusion, this is where you want to have most of your critical discussion. You want this to be quite long, so not just a summary conclusion. You want to be giving argument in your conclusion. And what you want to be arguing is why philosopher B's answer to the question is better than philosopher A's answer to the question. So you want to be giving your view, your arguments. You need to give reasons to back up what you're saying. Why is philosopher B better than philosopher A? And if you can, this bit here is a really nice strategy to give you a really tight argument and to make your argument run through to like a consistent conclusion, is if you can explain why philosopher B's answer to the question is better than philosopher A's answer to the question with respect to the critique or critiques that you gave earlier in the essay. That just helps to tie things together really nicely, if you can do it. Okay, and then the last thing that we need to mention is linking to the stimulus throughout the response. Okay, so You've linked the stimulus in your introduction, and then you need to make effective references to the stimulus throughout. So you want to apply the arguments of your essay back to the stimulus several times. There's no fixed number of times that you must do this, but I would suggest doing it here, here, and here. Okay, so that's one approach that you could take to plan your essay, and here is another. Okay, and this is synthesize approach. So here, instead of arguing that one philosopher is better than the other, you're going to argue that you need particular elements of both philosophers' views to make a better answer to the question overall. So your essay is going to look similar up to here, but then instead of going in to explain why A is better than B there, you are going to add a critique of philosopher B. So you want to identify the philosophical issue or question, state your answer, give philosopher A's view, critique philosopher A's view, give philosopher B's view, and then critique philosopher B's view. And then in your conclusion, critically discuss how elements of philosopher A and B's work can be used together to make a better answer to the question. Okay, I hope that was helpful for you. Please go ahead and download it if it was helpful. If my video was helpful, please subscribe or like or get in touch for tutoring. See you next time.